I stood at the doorway, holding the envelope like it was the last piece of hope I had left. Mom, Dad? I got something today, I said. My voice shook, but I tried to pretend it didn't. Marie didn't look up from her plate. Daniel kept cutting his steak like I wasn't even there. Aiden smirked at me, already waiting to turn whatever I said into a joke. What is it now? Aiden asked. Another participation award? It's my college acceptance letter, I said. I got in. Aiden's laugh exploded across the room. Community college? Seriously? You're bragging about that? Marie finally spoke. Aiden, be nice, she said, but she was laughing too. He's trying. Daniel didn't bother hiding his disappointment. You're wasting everyone's time, Ethan. We talked about aiming higher. Or maybe not aiming at all if this is the result. It's still something, I said softly. Aiden leaned back in his chair. Come on, Ethan. Just accept it. You'll never amount to anything. It's not an insult. It's reality. My chest tightened. Why would you even say that? Because someone has to, he said. You live in your own world. Someone needs to tell you the truth. Logan, sitting beside him, raised his eyebrows. Man, that's rough, he muttered. But he didn't defend me. No one ever did. I stepped farther into the room. I worked hard for this. Then maybe work harder, Daniel said. Life isn't built on effort. It's built on results. It's good enough for me, I whispered. Aiden snorted. Yeah, well, it's not good enough for us. Something cracked inside me then, quiet but sharp. I just wanted you to be proud, I said. Marie sighed. Ethan, sweetheart, we love you, but you need realistic goals. You can't expect the world to bend for you. Some people just aren't meant for big things. Like me, I said. No one denied it. Aiden lifted his glass. To real success, he said. Which, unfortunately, doesn't include you. I felt heat rising in my throat. You don't even know me. We know enough, he replied. Logan shifted awkwardly. Maybe let him talk, he said. Aiden waved him off. No, trust me. He'll just say something emotional again. I clenched the letter in my hands. This matters to me. Then keep it to yourself, Daniel said. Don't drag the family into mediocrity. My fingers trembled. I'm your son. And I'm telling you the truth, he said. You're not built for much. The words hit me harder than I expected. I swallowed everything I wanted to scream and forced myself to stay calm. I'm going to my room, I said. Aiden laughed again. Of course you are. I turned away before they saw my eyes burn. Each step up the stairs felt heavier than the last. When I finally reached my room, I shut the door and leaned against it, my whole body shaking. I whispered to myself, why am I never good enough for them? No answer came. Just the muffled sound of their laughter downstairs. I sat on my bed and opened the letter again, tracing the words that meant something to me even if they meant nothing to them. I made it, I said quietly. Even if they hate it, I made it. The room felt cold. My chest felt empty. But in that emptiness, a new thought slowly formed, faint but stubborn. If they don't believe in me, I whispered, I'll make them. I lay there for time, staring at the ceiling, replaying every word they threw at me. The more I thought about it, the more something inside me twisted, not sadness this time, but anger. Not loud anger, but the kind that stays quiet and sharp. Maybe they'll never see me, I murmured, but one day they'll have to notice. I didn't know how or when, but I knew I couldn't stay the same. I wasn't going to let their voices decide my future anymore. Something broke tonight, I whispered. And something else started to grow. The morning after the dinner, I walked into the kitchen hoping someone would say something, anything, but the room felt colder than usual. Marie sipped her coffee without looking at me. Daniel scrolled through his phone. Aiden smirked like he already won some silent game. I cleared my throat. Does anyone want breakfast? I can make. No, Daniel said. We're fine. Aiden chuckled. He's trying so hard. I forced a small breath. I just thought. Marie cut me off. Ethan, not now. We're busy. Busy doing nothing. Busy pretending I didn't exist. I grabbed my backpack and stepped outside before their silence swallowed me completely. At school, the hallway felt the same, loud, crowded, full of people who didn't see me unless Aiden reminded them. I kept my head down until I heard Claire calling, Ethan. Wait. I turned. She frowned when she saw my face. What happened to you? Nothing, I said. That's a lie, she answered. You look dimmer. I shook my head. I'm fine. Ethan. She stepped closer. Talk to me. I hesitated. My family just said some things. When don't they? She asked softly. But last night must have been worse. I looked away. It doesn't matter. It matters to me, she said. I sighed. They told me I'd never amount to anything. Claire's eyes widened. They actually said that? Aiden did, I said. The rest just agreed by staying quiet. She grabbed my arm. That's awful. I shrugged. I'm used to it. Well, you shouldn't be, she said. You deserve better. Not in my house, I muttered. She studied my face for a moment. Does it hurt? Yeah, I admitted. More than I want to admit. Claire squeezed my arm gently. I'm really sorry. I swallowed. Thanks. Before I could say more, the bell rang. She gave me a small nod. Find me after school, okay? I nodded back, even though I wasn't sure I wanted anyone to see how broken I felt. In class, Mrs. Rogers stopped me at her desk before the lesson began. Ethan, can we talk for a second? I nodded. Sure. She lowered her voice. You've been quiet lately. More than usual. I'm fine, I said automatically. Mrs. Rogers raised an eyebrow. You know I don't believe that. I sighed. It's nothing you need to worry about. That's not how caring works, she said gently. Is something going on at home? I looked at the floor. Just family stuff. She nodded slowly. Do you need help? No. I'm okay. You're not, she said. But I won't push. Just know my door is open. Thanks, I whispered. Ethan, she added, your worth isn't decided by the people who refuse to see it. I didn't expect her words to hit me that hard. I'll try to remember that. I sat down at my desk, but her voice echoed in my mind for the rest of the period. After school, Claire found me sitting under the oak tree by the parking lot. I knew you'd hide here. I'm not hiding, I said. She sat beside me. You kind of are. I let out a tired laugh. Maybe. She looked at me closely. Did anyone at home try to talk to you today? No. Not even to check on you? No. She shook her head. That's messed up. I picked at the grass. Their silence hurts more than when they insult me. Claire was quiet for a moment. Because silence makes you feel invisible. Exactly, I said. It's like I could disappear and no one would blink. Well, I'd blink, she said. A lot. I smiled weakly. Thanks. She tilted her head. So what are you going to do? I exhaled. I don't know. Part of me wants to stay quiet. Another part wants to scream. Maybe you should speak up, she said. Silence gives them power. Talking doesn't change anything, I replied. But it changes something in you, she said. I looked at her. What if I leave? Her brows rose. Leave home? Yeah. Do you want to? I think I have to, I said. If I stay there, I'll lose myself. Claire nodded slowly. Then leave. You deserve a life where your voice matters. I swallowed hard. I'm scared. Everyone's scared before they change their life, she said softly. I stared at the sky. I swear I'll leave one day. Claire squeezed my hand. And I'll be here when you do. For the first time in days, I believed someone meant it. I stood at the bottom of the stairs with my suitcase, waiting for someone to say something. Anything. I'm leaving, I said, my voice stiff but steady. Daniel didn't look up from the newspaper. Do what you want. Marie wiped the counter. If you think this is best, then, fine. Aiden leaned against the wall with that same smug smile he used whenever he thought he'd won. You'll be back when life eats you alive. I stared at him. Maybe life won't be as cruel as you. He laughed. Dream big, little brother. I tightened my grip on the suitcase. Goodbye. No one replied. As I stepped outside, I whispered to myself, this is it. No turning back. The air felt colder than usual, but at least it was honest. When I reached the front gate, Claire appeared out of nowhere. You're really leaving? Yeah, I said. I can't stay there anymore. She glanced at the house. Did they even try to stop you? No. Her jaw tightened. That's unbelievable. I shrugged. It's normal for them. She shook her head. Where are you going? A room above a grocery store. It's tiny, but it's mine. Do you need help moving? I think I need to do this alone, I said. Claire looked at me for a long moment. Okay. But call me if anything goes wrong. I will, I said. Thanks for being here. Always, she whispered. I forced myself to walk away before I changed my mind. The driveway felt longer than it ever had. Every step echoed with Aiden's voice, you'll be back. I muttered, watch me prove you wrong. The room above the grocery store was small, barely enough space for a bed and a desk, but the landlord handed me the key with a smile. You young folks starting out, he said. It's tough, but you'll figure it out. I hope so, I answered. That night, I sat on the floor eating a cheap sandwich, staring at the ceiling. This is my life now, I whispered. But at least it's mine. The next morning, I went to my first part-time job at a cafe. The manager, a tired-looking woman with a messy bun, greeted me. You Ethan? Yeah. Don't be late, don't break anything, and don't complain, she said. You'll be fine. Got it. During my break, I called Mrs. Rogers. I left home, I said. She didn't sound surprised. I thought you might. It feels weird, I admitted. Like I'm free and lost at the same time. That's what growing up feels like, she said. Now, about your future. Have you applied for any internships yet? No. I didn't think I'd qualify. She scoffed. Please. You have ideas. Companies want ideas. Apply. I hesitated. Do you really think I have a chance? I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it, she replied. Send in something. Anything. Okay, I said. I'll try. You won't try, she corrected. You'll do. I laughed softly. Yes, ma'am. After my shift, I sat at my tiny desk and typed out my first application. The next morning, another one. And another. Most didn't respond, but eventually an email popped up, interview scheduled, Hayes Innovation Group. I stared at it in disbelief. Is this real? At the interview, a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes shook my hand. I'm Mr. Hayes, he said. Tell me why you applied. I swallowed. I have ideas, sir. And I want to learn. I want to build something that matters. He leaned back. Most people your age talk about money or titles. You talk about impact. Interesting. I blinked. Is that good? It's honest, he said. And that's rare. We spent the next 20 minutes discussing small projects I'd worked on. He listened closely, actually listened. When I finished, he nodded. You're rough, but you have potential. I'll take a chance on you. My eyes widened. Really? Welcome aboard, he said. Walking out of the building, I whispered, someone believes in me. When I reached my room that evening, I sat on the bed, stunned. I did something on my own, I said. Something they swore I could never do. I looked at my suitcase in the corner and felt a surge of victory wash through me. I'm not going back, I said firmly. Not ever. For the first time in my life, the future didn't scare me. It challenged me. And I was ready. When people talk about years changing you, they never explain how quietly it happens. One day you're invisible, and the next someone says your name like it carries weight. That shift started the morning Mr. Hayes walked into my workspace and said, Ethan, your proposal got accepted. I blinked at him. Accepted? Seriously? He smiled. Why do you sound surprised? You earned it. I just didn't think they'd choose mine. Well, they did, he said. Now get ready. They want you to speak about it at the conference. Speak? I repeated. In front of people? In front of a lot of people, he said. You'll be fine. I might pass out. He laughed. Then pass out with confidence. I shook my head. That doesn't make sense. It will, he replied. A week later, I stood backstage at the conference, palms sweating. I can't do this, I whispered. Mr. Hayes nudged my shoulder. Yes, you can. I haven't talked on a stage before. Then today is your first. He paused. Remember where you started. And look where you're standing now. I swallowed hard. Okay. I'll try. No, he said. You'll do. When I stepped onto the stage, the lights blinded me. But then I started talking, slowly at first, then stronger. People nodded. People listened. When I finished, the applause hit me like a wave. Afterward, someone tapped my shoulder. Hey, stranger. I turned. Claire? She grinned. You didn't tell me you were becoming a star. I'm not a star, I said. You kind of are, she said. You looked confident up there. I felt like I was dying. But you didn't look like it, she said. You looked grown. I smiled. It feels weird. Weird good, she said. I'm proud of you. Those words hit deeper than she realized. Thanks. Really. She crossed her arms. So when were you going to tell me you're working with one of the biggest innovators in the state? I didn't think it mattered. It matters to me, she said softly. You matter to me. I cleared my throat, trying not to overthink it. I've been busy. Well, stay busy, she said. Just don't disappear again. I won't. Later that day, a woman with a press badge approached me. Ethan Cole? That's me, I said. I'm Elena Moore, she introduced herself. I'd like to interview you for an article. An article? I repeated. Yes. Your project is trending, and your background is compelling. My stomach tightened. My background? Your rise, she clarified. You're young, talented, and from what I hear, self-made. Oh, I said. Yeah, something like that. She gave me a curious smile. You sound hesitant. I just don't talk about my past much. Sometimes pasts make stories stronger, she said. People relate to struggle. I hesitated. Maybe someday. She nodded. Whenever you're ready. My email is on the card. Thanks, I said. When she walked away, Mr. Hayes walked over. What did Elena want? She wants to interview me. Well, that's what happens when you shine, he said. Get used to attention. It feels strange. Growth usually does, he replied. On the drive home, I couldn't stop replaying my name in her voice. Ethan Cole. Like it meant something. When I got back to my room, I sat on the bed and stared at my reflection in the window. Who am I turning into? I whispered. The next morning at work, 2 colleagues approached me. Hey, Ethan, one said. We saw your talk. It was impressive, the other added. We didn't know you had that in you. Neither did I admitted. Well, keep going, they said. Your ideas are fresh. That word, fresh, felt unreal. I wasn't used to being described as anything positive. I walked to my desk smiling without even realizing it. During lunch, Claire called. So, she said, do you feel famous yet? No, I said. Just overwhelmed. That's normal, she said. Just don't let it scare you. I'm more scared of failing again. You're not that kid anymore, she said. You changed. Sometimes I don't believe that. I do, she said. I leaned back in my chair. It still feels like everything could fall apart. Or, she said, it could keep getting better. I breathed out slowly. I hope so. The next week, another company reached out. Then another. My inbox filled with possibilities I never imagined. Every new message felt like another crack in the old version of me. One afternoon, Mr. Hayes leaned into my workspace. You're growing fast. Don't let it scare you. I'm trying. He smiled. Good. Because you're going somewhere. That night, I sat on my balcony and whispered, Aiden, you said I'd never amount to anything. Are you watching now? The wind didn't answer, but something inside me did. A quiet certainty. For the first time, the world saw me, and I saw myself too. I first heard the rumors about Aiden's company while I was grabbing coffee after a meeting. Someone behind me whispered, did you hear about coal industries? Investors are backing out. I froze, then turned slowly. They didn't notice me. They just kept talking like my brother's collapse was gossip for their break. When I called Claire later, she said, Ethan, your name's everywhere now. People are talking about you more than him. I sighed. I didn't want that. She replied, maybe you didn't, but you earned it. That night, my phone buzzed. Marie's name lit the screen. I hesitated before answering. Ethan, she said, forcing a cheerful tone, how are you? I frowned. Mom, what's going on? She acted confused. Can't a mother call her son? I almost laughed. Not usually. She cleared her throat. Your brother is dealing with things. Maybe you could stop by. I shook my head even though she couldn't see it. I'm busy. She whispered, Ethan, please. I swallowed. I'm not ready to see any of you. She went quiet. Okay. I understand. She didn't, but it was the closest she'd ever come. Later that week, I walked out of my office and found Logan leaning on the railing outside the building. Ethan, he said, we need to talk. I raised an eyebrow. About what? He sighed. Aiden. He's falling apart. I shoved my hands in my pockets. That's his problem. Logan nodded slowly. Yeah, I figured you'd say that. I studied him. Why are you here? He looked embarrassed. Because I should have said something years ago. I frowned. Said what? He sighed again. That Aiden was wrong about you. About everything. My chest tightened. You didn't think that back then. I did, he said. I just didn't want to get involved. I leaned against the wall. So why now? Logan looked down. Because people finally see it. You're doing real work. And Aiden, he's drowning. I didn't respond. He continued, he's scared, Ethan. Really scared. I shook my head. He wasn't scared when he told me I'd never amount to anything. Logan flinched. I know. And I should have said something then. I let out a breath. Too late for that. He nodded. Yeah. But I still wanted to say it. I gave a small shrug. Thanks, I guess. Logan stepped closer. Look. I'm not asking you to forgive him. But you should know, people are starting to realize who built their success on ego and who built it on work. I stared at him. And you're telling me this because? Because I figured someone should tell you the truth for once. I stared at the street below us. Logan, I didn't want him to fail. I know, he said softly. But sometimes failure shows people who they really are. I whispered, he won't handle it well. Logan rubbed the back of his neck. He's already not. He's snapping at everyone, blaming the economy, blaming clients, blaming fate. He hasn't even considered blaming himself. I huffed a quiet laugh. Sounds like him. Logan looked at me carefully. Ethan, what are you going to do? I shook my head. Nothing. He seemed surprised. Nothing? Yeah, I said. This isn't my mess. Logan nodded. Fair enough. After a moment, he added, if it makes any difference, I respect you. I blinked. Why? Because you climbed from nothing, he said. And you didn't step on anyone to do it. The words hit harder than I expected. Thanks, I said quietly. Logan gave a small smile. Take care of yourself. You too, I said. He walked off, disappearing into the city lights. As I headed home, Claire called again. Did you hear more news? She asked. Yeah, I said. Logan found me. What did he want? I told her everything. She sighed. So even his friends see it now. Yeah, I whispered. Feels strange. Why strange? She asked. Because, I said, I never wanted revenge. I just wanted a life that didn't hurt. She was silent for a moment. Then she said, and that's exactly what you built. I leaned against my door. Claire, do you think they know? Know what? She asked. Who I've become. She exhaled softly. They will. Sooner than you think. I closed my eyes. Their fall began long before today. Yeah, she said, but now they finally see it. Their choices, pride, and denial stacked quietly until the weight finally cracked everything they once controlled. I was finishing a report when my phone buzzed. I almost ignored it, but the name on the screen made my breath catch. Aiden. For a second, I thought it was a mistake. Then I answered. What do you want? There was silence, then a shaky inhale. Ethan, can we talk? Hearing my name in that tone felt unreal. Why? I asked. You never wanted to talk before. He exhaled. Please. Just meet me. I met him in a quiet cafe. When I walked in, he stood up fast like he'd been waiting for hours. Ethan, he said again. His voice cracked. Thanks for coming. I sat across from him. Say what you need to say. He rubbed his forehead. Everything's falling apart. I nodded slowly. I heard. I'm not asking you to fix it, he said quickly. I don't know what to do. I stared at him. Why me? He swallowed hard. Because you've always known how to handle things. That almost made me laugh. You used to say I couldn't handle anything. I was wrong, he whispered. I know that now. I leaned back. So what do you want? He hesitated. There's a business event next week. Investors, press, partners, people who used to trust me. I raised an eyebrow. Used to? He winced. Yeah. They don't anymore. I waited. He finally said it. I want you to come with me. Speak for me. Show them I'm still worth believing in. My stomach tightened. You want me to save your reputation? Please, Ethan, he said. If you speak, they'll listen. I shook my head. You didn't listen when I begged you to stop humiliating me. He closed his eyes. I know. And I'm sorry. Hearing that felt surreal. You're sorry? He nodded. I ruined things. I let my ego run everything. I looked away. Aiden, you destroyed my confidence for years. I know, he whispered. And I can't undo it. But I'm asking you to help me now. My chest ached. Do you even mean that apology? He lifted his head slowly. Yes. I do. I sighed. You're only apologizing because you need something. Maybe that's true, he admitted. But it doesn't make the words less honest. I rubbed my face. Aiden, I spent years trying to heal. I know, he said. And I hate that I caused it. His voice broke. I'm scared, Ethan. Everything's slipping away. I looked at him, really looked. Why didn't you call Dad? He laughed weakly. Dad said I need to man up. I flinched. Sounds like him. Mom told me to stay positive, he added. As if that fixes anything. I sighed. So I'm your last option. No, he said. You're the only person I trust. That stunned me. You trust me? Yes, he said. Even after everything. I leaned forward. Aiden, what if I say no? Then I'll deal with it alone. And if I say yes? Then maybe I'll have a chance. He swallowed. But I'll accept either answer. My heart twisted. You hurt me, I said quietly. I know, he whispered. And I'll regret it forever. I exhaled slowly. I don't know if I can forgive you. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he said. Just help. I stared at the table, my thoughts battling each other. Part of me wanted to walk away. The other part remembered the boy who used to build pillow forts with me before ego swallowed him. I'll think about it, I finally said. Aiden nodded. That's all I can ask. He stood slowly. Thank you, for not walking out. I looked at him. I haven't decided anything. I know, he said. But you stayed. When he left, I sat alone, replaying every word. What do I do now? I whispered. I walked outside, staring at the night sky. My past and present collided inside my chest. If I helped him, I'd risk reopening wounds. If I didn't, I'd watch him sink. I breathed out shakily. What kind of man do I want to be? The question echoed through me as I headed home, unsure which path would hurt less. I walked slowly, listening to the sound of my own footsteps. Every step felt heavier. I whispered, "Why now, Aiden? Why come to me?" The night didn't answer. I kept walking, hoping the movement would clear my mind, but it didn't. The choice sat heavy on my shoulders. Whatever I decided would change everything between us, maybe forever. I needed time to think. I stood outside the event hall, holding my invitation like it might burn a hole in my hand. When Aiden called earlier and said, "Please come," I didn't know what to expect. Now I felt my heartbeat in my throat. When he spotted me at the entrance, he hurried over. "You came," he said, voice unsteady. "Yeah," I answered. "Don't make me regret it." He gave a nervous nod. "Just stay close." We walked inside together. The room was brighter than I expected. Cameras flashed. People murmured. I whispered, "Why did you bring me here?" Aiden swallowed. "Because I need them to see the truth." That confused me. The truth about what? He didn't answer. Instead, he touched the mic at the podium. "Just stand there," he said. "Please." When the lights dimmed, a spotlight hit Aiden. He cleared his throat. "Thank you all for coming," he began. His voice trembled. I'd never heard fear in it before. He continued, "Tonight, I want to introduce someone important." My chest tightened. "Aiden, don't," I whispered. He ignored me. He turned toward me and lifted his hand. "This is Sir Ethan Cole, my brother." The room gasped. Someone whispered, "Sir?" Another said, "That's his brother?" My breath caught. "Sir?" I stared at him, shocked. Aiden's voice shook again as he added, "I owe him more than any of you know." I stepped forward slowly. "Aiden, what are you doing?" He blinked rapidly. Telling the truth for once. Cameras clicked from every direction. Reporters leaned in. Claire, standing near the back, covered her mouth in surprise. Aiden spoke again. "He's the reason I kept going. He's the reason I'm trying to fix everything. He inspired me." I felt a lump rise in my throat. "Aiden, you don't have to say all that." He turned to me. "I do." The host motioned for me to speak. I froze. "I'm not prepared for a speech." Aiden whispered, "Just talk." I took the mic slowly. "Hi," I began. "I'm Ethan." People chuckled softly. The tension loosened. I breathed in. I never expected to stand here. My whole life, I felt like a shadow in my own home. I thought I'd never be seen, never be heard, never be enough. A hush filled the room. I continued, "But life changes when you choose yourself." Someone near the front nodded. Another whispered, "Wow." I went on. "I didn't come here to brag. I didn't come here to make anyone look bad. I came because my brother asked me to." I glanced at Aiden. His eyes glistened. "And the truth is," I said, "we all make mistakes. We all let pride speak for us. But sometimes pride breaks. And when it does, we finally see each other clearly." More flashes. More murmurs. I lowered the mic a little. "I'm not here to save him. I'm not here to tear him down. I'm here to stand in my own light. Something I spent years trying to find." The silence that followed wasn't painful like the ones at home. It was full, heavy, meaningful. Aiden stepped closer. "Ethan, thank you." I whispered back, "I didn't do anything." He shook his head. "You did more than you know." The host clapped first. Then the whole room joined. The applause grew loud enough to shake my chest. Claire made her way forward after the noise settled. "Ethan," she said softly, "that was beautiful." I smiled weakly. "I just told the truth." She squeezed my hand. "Sometimes that's all anyone needs." Aiden approached slowly, almost timid. "Can we talk later?" he asked. I studied him, really studied him. Gone was the arrogance. Gone was the old smirk. What stood in front of me was a man carrying the weight of regret. "Yeah," I said quietly. "We can talk." He let out a shaky breath. "Thank you." I looked around the room, the lights, the people, the cameras, the murmurs of my name. And for the first time, I didn't feel like the shadow of the family. I felt like myself. After the event ended, I stepped into the hallway to breathe. Aiden joined me a moment later, his steps slow, almost unsure. "Ethan," he said, "I meant every word." I nodded. "I know." He hesitated. "Will you let me make things right?" I looked at him carefully. "One step at a time." He exhaled with relief, and for once, we simply stood together without anger. I breathed in slowly. I met Aiden the morning after the event. He stood outside the hotel, hands shoved in his pockets, eyes red like he hadn't slept. When he saw me, he stepped forward slowly. "Ethan," he said, voice hoarse, "I need to say something." I nodded. "Go ahead." He swallowed hard. "I'm sorry." I let the words hang in the air. "For what exactly?" "For everything," he whispered. "For the years I treated you like nothing. For acting like your dreams were a joke. For pretending I was better. For all of it." I sighed. "Why now, Aiden?" "Because I finally saw it last night," he said. "The man you became. And the man I didn't." He rubbed his eyes. "You grew." I hid behind pride. "You worked." I posed. "You changed." I stayed the same. I didn't know what to say, so I asked the only question that mattered. "Do you mean it?" "Yes," he said instantly. "More than anything." I looked out at the street. "You hurt me, Aiden. Deeply." "I know," he said. "And I'll spend the rest of my life wishing I didn't." We stood in silence for a moment before he spoke again. "I don't expect forgiveness." "Good," I said quietly, "because I don't know if I have it to give." He nodded as if he expected that. "Can we at least start over someday?" "Not now. Just someday." I hesitated. "Someday," I said. "Maybe." He exhaled shakily. "Thank you." After he left, I sat on a bench nearby and called Claire. She picked up immediately. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I think so," I said. Aiden apologized. She gasped. "Seriously?" "Yeah. He meant it too." "What did you say?" "That I don't know if I can forgive him." "That's fair," she said. "Forgiveness isn't something you hand out like a flyer." I laughed softly. "True. So, how do you feel?" she asked. I looked up at the sky. Lighter. But not because he apologized. Because I don't want revenge anymore. She was quiet for a moment. "What do you want then?" "Freedom," I said. "From everything that used to hurt. From the expectations. From the old version of me. From the fear of being small." "That's beautiful," she whispered. "It feels real," I said. "For the first time." "Ethan, you deserve peace." "Yeah," I said. "And I think I'm finally choosing it." Later that afternoon, Marie called. I hesitated but answered. "Ethan," she said softly, "we saw the event online." I waited. "And? You've changed," she said. "So have the years," I replied. She cleared her throat. "Your father wants to talk to you." "No," I said. "Not now." She didn't argue. "We're proud of you," she finally said, the words sounding foreign in her mouth. "Maybe one day I'll believe that," I said. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry," before hanging up. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel satisfaction. Just calm acceptance, like their voices finally lost the power to wound me. That evening, Claire came over. She sat beside me on the couch and quietly asked, "What happens next?" "I move on," I said. "Not out of spite. Not to prove anything. Just because I want to." She rested her head on my shoulder. "I'm glad you're choosing yourself." I turned to her. Revenge always felt heavy. Like dragging a chain. But today, I don't want chains anymore. She smiled gently. "That's growth." "I guess it is." We talked for hours about the future, my work, her plans, the possibilities neither of us believed in years ago. At one point she said, "Ethan, do you realize what you did? You rose from nothing." "I didn't rise because of them," I said. "I rose because I refused to stay where they left me." She took my hand. "And look where you are now." I squeezed her fingers. "People used to look at me and see failure." "Not anymore," she said. "Now they see a man." I breathed slowly, letting her words sink in. A man who finally understands that the best revenge isn't revenge at all. "What is it then?" she asked. "Becoming someone they can never ignore again." She smiled. "You already are." That night, as I lay in bed, I whispered to myself, "I'm proud of who I became." Not because I proved my family wrong. Not because the world finally saw me. But because I finally saw myself. And closure, real closure, tasted nothing like revenge. It tasted like peace.